Hi, welcome to Arty Crafty Alchemy. Today I am here with my daughter.
Hi.
And we are unboxing some stuff I bought off eBay from Canada. I'm the Arty Crafty Alchemist. Let's see what I bought this time. So my lovely assistant is showing us what was bought. I got some Art Alchemy waxes. They were $6.60 each. In Australia they're $10, which isn't too bad really. And I got the Antique Brilliance in Amethyst Magic, of course, because purple. I also got Antique Brilliance in Fire Ruby. I really wanted the red as well. I was only going to get one of each, but I caved. And then I got the Opal Magic, and I got Royal Robes, and I got the metallic rose gold because rose gold seems to be in right now, so I thought I would get something. Then I have the Prismacolor Premier pencils. This is 12 pencils and these are $30 in Australia, but I think I paid less than 10. I didn't write that one down. Next up I got the Jane Davenport Brights. I was in love with this tin from the moment it came out, and I have been wanting to get my hands on this. Now, I actually paid $6.70 for this, but here in Australia they're around $48. I got the Jane Davenport Faces, and they're $12 off eBay, and I think I paid around $5 for them. Then I also got the Tombow dual brush pens. I was umming and ahhing about these in the Black Friday sales. I usually do a big order from Blitzy, but I decided to get a few other things instead of getting these, which they had for $20 Australian, but I got these for $12.70, and in Australia they are actually $40 on Craft Online. Then I also got the Jane Davenport Mermaid markers, which are $48 in Australia, and I got them for $16. Then the seller, who is a really lovely lady and I used to buy from her a lot, popped these in my package. And these are the Cool Oceans Glitzy Sparkle markers. And then she also gave me this Butterfly Effect book, which has the blank cover so you can decorate yourself. And then it has a few pages in there, but it has the two bands in there so you can put signatures in there. And I actually watched Diane Reevely do a tutorial on this the other day. She puts 3 in each band. So in effect, you could put 6 in one of them. Now we are going to do a little bit of swatching. So firstly, I will open the Jane Davenports and give them a bit of a spritz, and my daughter will open the Art Alchemy waxes and stuff while we sort some stuff out, and we'll be right back. Okay, we took a quick break and opened everything up. My daughter will show you how to open one of these. So what we've decided to do is there's actually a little bit of sizing in the brush tip, so we've decided to rinse them in water first and wash out the sizing so that ink comes down a bit easier and doesn't just roll straight off the side, which is what happened to me when I did the first one and why you see that great big spot there. We've been pretty good and not had most of them drip everywhere, but we have had a couple that have dripped. Next, she has to take the ring off. And we made sure to wet the brush before we took the ring off so that there'd be no water mixing with the ink. And I am just opening one of the Jane Davenport paints so I can show you what I've done on the side of all of them. Okay, now that she's got the brush damp, she's just going to give it a light squeeze to get the colour to come down. And it's hit and miss whether the colour will just drip all the way down, but as you can see, we can show you that the colour has come down now, so we'll put that away for a few minutes. Now, these are the Jane Davenport paints, and because there's nowhere on the paints written what the colours are, I am just taking a Bic Market, and this one is called Frida. So I am writing on the side what they are called, and I have written on the side of every single half pan what they are. Now we'll just have a bit of a look at the paints. I will see if I can shine the light on them a bit. They are a little bit sparkly. They have a bit of a strange texture on top. I don't know how to explain it, but we are going to give these a bit of a wet. Would you like to drop a bit of water in each one? Just going to activate them with some water and set them aside for a few minutes. Okay, that's not working, so we're just going to take the Tim Holtz spray mister and give them a little bit of a spray on top of each one. Wow, that's a pretty colour. So As soon as I saw this palette, I wanted it. As I said, in Australia, $48, so I've waited and waited, and I've missed a few on Facebook, but they were around $16. Okay, so our battery just died. We just had to change it really quickly. We are going to swatch the Prima Alchemy waxes. Well, my daughter is going to swatch them, so you're going to need that to clean your finger in a minute. Okay, so she's starting with Metallic Rose Gold. She's just cleaning her finger on the stamp chamois. Next we are going to take the Opal Magic Royal Robes. Now this one is not going to show up very much on the white. The magic of this one is having dark colours behind it. So as you can see, it is not showing up at all on the white, but the magic of the opal is that it's like an interference colour. It shows up when you slide it over dark colours. Next up we are going to take the Fire Ruby in the Antique Brilliance. Wow, the Fire Ruby looks really nice on the black as well. It's more of a coppery tone on the white. And there is a bit of an issue with our amethyst, but yeah, it's a bit weird on the top. I'm not sure what's gone on, whether the wax has separated, but we'll give it a go and see what it's like. So again, it's coming up purple on the dark, but on the white it is coming up brown. That's interesting. That's not what I expected at all. They all seem to work better on the black. There we go. Yeah, look at the red. They all seem to work a lot better on the black. So we'll have a bit more of a play with them in time and see how they do. Okay, next up we are going to do some swatching. Just open to a new page while I'm writing out what we're going to do. My daughter can do a little bit of a swatch of each of these colours from the glitz. We'll see what the sparkle's like on them. So firstly she's taking the silver, do a little bit on the black. Wow, that's really pretty on the black. I like it on both, but the sparkle is lovely on the black. Oh, maybe you're supposed to shake them. We didn't read the instructions. I've not actually seen these used before, so it doesn't actually say. I don't think it's done anything different to you. Okay, well there is a mixing ball in there, so maybe you are supposed to shake them first. So I am just going to write the colours out under where I want my daughter to swatch them. That's the pretty purple one. Not actually sure what the names of them are. Maybe they have them written on them. Atlantic Ocean. So they all pretty much look the same on the black by the looks. The purple does have a hint of purple in it. The blue does have a hint of blue in it, but they aren't much different from the silver. The next one she's going to do is Pacific Ocean. Oh, we have Blue Bottle and Jellyfish in the mermaid markers. Next up she is taking Indian Ocean. And the purple is called Southern Ocean and the silver is called Arctic Ocean. I'm sure there'd be a set with a gold pen in it as well. Okay, so here we have the really lovely sparkle glitzy markers. They are the Cool Ocean set. I absolutely love the colours in that set. Perfect pick. So pretty. I can't believe how sparkly they are. So they're gorgeous. We're going to start with the Jane Davenport, I should write on it what it is, Bright Watercolour. Now it says, hello artists, this palette of fine watercolour feature 3 primaries so you can mix any colour and some of my favourite hues. I hope this fine little set of watercolours brings you joy. Join me at janedavenport.com for painting tips, techniques and art making lessons. And we have a really pretty picture as well. Now I've actually used Jane Davenport's website for painting reference, her ideas on colours and things like that. So that's Buzzy. So Buzzy has actually stained the tip of my paintbrush bright yellow. So they are highly pigmented, which is good. And they are swatching out to a nice light colour. So next up we have Butterfly. Again, a super high pigment load. I have to admit, I haven't actually looked up the colour numbers for these yet because my daughter really wanted to swatch them and I didn't think about that before I wanted to swatch them. Okay, next we are doing 70s eyeshadow. It's kind of an aqua blue. Now we have Mermaid. Very strong green. I'm not very versed in the pigment colours yet, so I'm not even going to give my guess as to what they are. Next we are doing Jiminy. Very pretty limey green, again highly pigmented. I'm just going to zoom you in a bit so you can see what she's doing a bit better. Okay, now we are doing Best Friend. We'll have to find out what her favourite colour is at the end, whether it's Best Friend or Fairy Tale. I think Best Friend is kind of an opera rose. It's very pink, so I'm going to have to look up the light fast ratings as well, because I'm not sure what the light fast ratings of these are. Next, Fairy Tale, which I think is a lovely colour. My daughter's nodding her head. And now we have Frida, which I'm not actually sure what this is. Oh wow, that's a surprise. That's not what I was expecting. It is very similar to the Fairy Tale though. Maybe that's pinkier and with a little bit of a purple tone, and that is more winey. Now we're coming to the purples. 2 purples on a palette, that's just awesome. Again, really highly pigmented, washes out into a really nice colour. I'm actually surprised by these. I have seen a few people swatching these, but I'm actually surprised by them because when you see the cakes themselves, they have a very strange texture on top and you don't think that they're going to act very nicely. And now we have Royal. Another purple, wow. And lastly, we have Ink. Oh, okay. I was thinking that was going to be a black colour, but it is actually a blue. So this is a closer look at the swatches for the bright watercolours. They have actually surprised me quite a lot, so I'm going to give these a go. I'm guessing that Buzzy, Ladybug and Butterfly are your primary set. They look like a warm primary set to me. Oh dear, we have a cat accident. She's come to play. So hello, hello. Look, there's a cat. So next up, we're doing the mermaid markers, and my daughter has elected me to do these ones. She didn't feel like doing these ones. So I am just going to lay some down. This is the seaweed. Then I'm going to take my water brush and pull it down. But this one, because it's so light, it doesn't really, can't really see it that well. Next up is Siren. I like these. Kind of changes to a more bluey tone when you pull the colour down. Next one is Byron Bay. So again, that one washes out nicely. Now we're doing Blue Bottle. This is just cheap watercolour paper, so it's Montmartre 180 GSM that I have in this book. So now we have Deep Sea. Now we have Jellyfish. It has a lot more pink in it than I expected. Expected it to be a bit more purple. Just going by the labels, of course. Pirate's Gold. Lobster. Well, we had a blowout. Oh dear. That's one of the ones that we had a bit of an issue with when we were opening them up. Next we have Starfish. Now we are doing Coral. A bit redder than I was thinking it would be, but what you get for having preconceived notions of what something's going to look like. They rarely do. Next up is Beach, which again is another light colour, probably the lightest. And lastly we're taking Reef. Okay, so there is our mermaid marker swatches done. They are really super pretty colours. Again, I wouldn't have paid $60 for them because that's just way out of my budget. So to be able to get them for under $17 was amazing. Next up, my lovely daughter is going to swatch the Prismacolors. Now before we start, I've got to show you one thing because my daughter is not happy at all. I don't know if you can see it real well. There we go. But the position of the stamping on all of them is in different places. So I have some pencils, some Derwent pencils, and they line up perfectly from the end. They are absolutely perfectly lined up. My daughter has some Faber-Castles and they are perfectly lined up, and they're not the expensive ones. They're so not the expensive ones. They're just the cheap student ones, and they line up perfectly, and so she's not impressed that these are not lined up perfectly. So just thought I'd share that with you, and she's going to swatch these out starting with the white. which is called White. I've heard really super good things about this white, so I'll be interested to see how I can incorporate that into my things. I have to say I'm not really a pencil person because they take a lot of effort and a lot of blending and a lot of mixing, and I don't mind doing that with watercolours, but with pencils I have arthritis in my shoulders and my wrist, and too much repetitive stuff really sets it off. So using these type of coloured pencils would be a bit of a strain, I feel. But I am going to give them a try. And I know these aren't the Rolls Royce of pencils anymore. A lot of people are reporting issues and the like, which is probably why you're able to pick them up so cheap at the moment. But I've got to start somewhere. Not that I think that I'd ever actually buy anything more expensive. So she's done canary yellow, orange, now she's doing crimson red. Do they feel different to a normal pencil? She says they feel different to a normal pencil. This is our first swatch of them, so I haven't actually tried them yet. She said they're smooth compared to a normal pencil, and we're not even using cardstock for pencils. We are using just some out of my craft stash. So I think it's a Poppy Crafts cardstock, which is fairly rough. So that was violet, and now she's doing violet blue, which seems to be having issues with its wood, but the pencils are laying down great. The cat has decided that she wants to get in the packaging from all of this stuff. She was trying to get inside it, and now she's decided she's not. She's come to see what we're doing. Next is True Blue. She wants to play, which isn't good. That usually results in someone being bit when we're not doing what she's wanting of us. Next is Apple Green. Or maybe she wants her dinner. We've been doing this, we haven't fed her yet. So maybe she wants her dinner. And then we have Grass Green, Sienna Brown, Dark Brown, and finally Black. So now I'm just getting my daughter to do a square. We are going to do a white stripe across and see. So we're just going to see what the white does. We can see that it's lightening. It's also smoothing. We can see that it is lightening to a grey. So there we have our swatches. We can see the white half of the black that was coloured, and we have all our colours on the side. So I'm excited to give them a go. There might be a project in the future using them and all of this stuff. Lastly, we have the Tombow dual brush pens. These don't actually have names on them, they just have numbers. They have a dual tip, they are brush tip, as well as a bullet tip. We're going to start with 725, 755, 296, 443, 555, 676, 606, N55, N25, and then we have N00, which looks like a colourless blender, but I'm not sure because I've never owned any Tombow brush markers before, so I am not sure. So these are the colours of the Galaxy Tombow dual brush markers. Very pretty colours, and I'll have to look up a bit more how to use them. I'm just going to grab one out and show you that they make very fine lines, but they're for lettering. So if you pull a light line down and then press and pull back up, you can get different widths. If you're interested in learning how to do brush lettering, these are perfect for that. As you can see, I'm not a brush letterist yet. I have a few resources that I can use to learn, so hopefully I can get some practice and learn how to do these. But in the meantime, I'll look up some other ways to use these, and we'll just have a look at what you can do with the bullet tip. So again, you can do super fine lines with it. Good for writing and journaling and things. I think we have swatched everything, so that's bye for now.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the haul and watching us swatch our colours. I hope you're creating some arty crafty alchemy yourselves. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.